Good afternoon. Welcome back. Welcome to Tampa, everybody. And today we're heading off to the new MK Studios La Guardia airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we are, I think for the first time, maybe the second time, flying around the States, currently without any ATC online, making use of the new kind of Unicom rules in the CTAF trial. So if you're new to the channel, welcome on board. It's great to see you. Come and join us in the live chat, hit like, hit subscribe, and a very warm welcome of course to all of our channel members and regulars here at the channel. We've got Ian online, welcome to you, good evening. Badger as well, good to see you living on a player. James, welcome. David, good morning. Yeah, so CTAF for Tampa, as we've said in the live chat there from Badger's question, is 119.5, and the way to find that out, nice and easy, is to just type in to the vPilot client .ctaf space and then the ICAO code for the airport that you're flying out of, in this case KTPA, and then it will come up on the VATSIM client as the frequency that you need. Joe's asking to be report on CTAF or Unicom. In the US, CTAF is now Unicom, if that helps. Until we're airborne, passing 10,000, and then we go to 1228 as a general Unicom for in-flight kind of stuff. We're here in the PMDG 737-900ER, flashing this lovely Delta livery for I think the second time on the channel. They've got quite a cheesy safety demonstration, which I'm not a massive fan of, but we've got that as well in the Luke Air tool, and we depart Vertical Sims Tampa. All the links for the sceneries are in the description down below. And there's a handy little widget for Flow Pro as well, Ian says. Nice. So this is the plan, folks. Heading out of Eside's kind of the Echo terminal, push start face south on Victor, out of Victor 4, if not Victor 3, depends on whether we kind of make this push back in line with V4 or not. Zata, welcome. And then heading out down Whiskey to Whiskey 1, hold point 1 left for a departure, onto the Baypo 1 SID, which is a multi-directional departure, as is the case with multiple airports around the US, and this is something that people tend to sort of struggle with. One of the questions I get asked the most. I've covered it in my VATSIM tutorial series for the regional differences. I've spoke about that, and these arrows here mean vectors. So if we were taking off on runway 27, headed out that way, just as an example today, we're not, but as an example, once we get to the 540 feet, we're then looking at vectors to our en route fix. So it'll be vectors to Finke, in which case ATC might send us out this way, they might send us there, and then they might send us direct to Finke. Or we get to that point, they have us turn north for a bit and then vector us to Finke like so. Without any ATC, it's on us to separate ourselves and coordinate all of that sort of stuff as well. Same with parallel departures or whatever, but we're using one left. So we're going to take off, runway heading 007, then 003 degrees, before then routing direct Finke, and away we go. Following that kind of red line, and then heading north all the way up to Kamjo for the transition. The top altitude for the departure is 6,000 until we then wind it up even further, and it says there expect clearance to filed altitude within 10 minutes after departure, and our cruise is flight level 350. Routing all the way up the States, tickling the east coast, a little bit inland. Where have we got? Let's go to VFR, FA sectionals. Through Georgia. That's the world map, isn't it? Over Glenville. Trying to spot some. There's Lexington there. Trying to spot some big airports that I recognise, but I don't really recognise many of them. Heading then over from sort of South Carolina to North Carolina, working up to Washington as well, a little bit further up. And then massive SID all the way into La Guardia. I've also got the New York JFK scenery installed, I've got the New York City pack installed, and I've got Drzecki Designs Newark installed in addition to MK Studios La Guardia. So this is going to be a real push for the system, especially with the the sim doing its crappy nonsense at the minute, triggering windowed mode and DirectX 11 by force. But we'll see how we go. Carlita, welcome mate. Grant, good evening. Zato, welcome. Going to be flying in the 747 today. Let's get this fired up. So I'll get the METAR in the live chat. Call sign today, Delta 1235, and we're on Unicom pre-tuned, but actually we want 19.5 for the CTAF, or Tampa specifically. $19.5. So departures from Tampa, 1 left, Vapo 1, Camjo transition, execute. And there's that departure with the vectors. In the A320 that might say discontinuity, but we don't want to delete that. That's there for a reason. And then yeah, routing all the way down. We can expect, we'll get into cruise. We'll get to cruise first because we've got a little while in cruise, and then at that point we'll look at the star and the arrival and all that kind of stuff. But everything else is done. The init ref page is done. Transition, fuel reserves, cruise, winds, the lot. We've got a cell temp of 54 degrees. We're going to use toga for takeoff, but then revert to climb 2 for a shallower climb. Flap 5. There's the centre of gravity. And there are our V-speeds, 156, 166, adding the 10. Flight directors can go on. FCP set. And runway heading is set as well. We'll make sure that follows on 30. Water brakes RTO. Aft. In fact, I'll get them all on. Centre tanks have even got some juice in them as well. Let's get the APU fired up. Real cereal box, yeah, so Zato's in a 747 today, just to see if it fits. I've got no idea where he is though. It's a lovely scenery this, it's one that we don't really use often enough. There's a 767 there. I can see an Osprey Holidays livery off in the corner. A couple of Osprey Holiday. Oh wow, we've got loads of Ospreys over there. Oh, there's a Virgin Atlantic A330. Can't see a 747 though. Don't know where you are, Zato, roughly. Paul, welcome. Thanks, mate. Says great stream. Hopefully you guys are all going to enjoy tomorrow because it's Fighter Friday. I have absolutely no idea what to expect. But I'm basically starting my journey learning on DCS, learning the FA-18. So I've spent a whole lot of money, as we were talking about yesterday, getting DCS, getting the right hardware for it and all the rest of it. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing some of the training missions, especially for DCS basically. So we'll be learning live. Order complete. Lovely job. GSX, prepare for pushback and departure. Release ground power. Get that transferred across first. Now we can release ground power. Oops. Quick check of the overheads. Pros are on automatic. Let's just whack them on though properly. Hydraulics are on. Entry door is still open. That will close shortly. Cruise pressurization panel's done. The airfield elevation here is set. It's about 40 odd feet, but the nearest we can get to is 50. Lights and signs all as required. And we'll do the old American way of just getting the anti-collision lights on early. Altimeter set 3014.
Departure checks completed. Bypass
Ian. Well, give it a go. Not necessarily having to buy new throttle and stick just yet, Ian, but maybe give it a go just as it is. You can download DCS for free, and then you can download sort of one module at a time for free and try it for 2 weeks to get a feel for it. One thing I wish I did know was the carrier tutorial. I actually wish that I knew that the tutorial was missing the fact you've got to salute the ground crew, the carrier launch. It's not mentioned in the tutorial, it's like they assume you know. So I had to do a whole lot of Googling, couldn't work out for the life of me why I couldn't take off on the carrier, until I found I've got to do Once everything else is set, and I've got max power set and the burners lit, Control Shift S. And then the pilot in my aeroplane does a salute to the crew, they salute back, and then away we go. So we want nose right south on Victor. Tampa traffic Delta 1235 on Echo 69, altimeter 3004, correction 3014, push start, facing south on Victor.
And Tampa traffic Osprey 2472 on stand Alpha 11, push back and facing south on Golf. Tampa traffic.
Release parking brakes, please.
Yep, traffic.
Brakes off.
Push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Uru, engine 2 to ground.
Tampa traffic Delta 493.
Hope if I take the packs off. You can tell I was in the 737. Sorry, the 787 yesterday.
And Tampa traffic.
Oh, where you go?
47400, altimeter 3014, pushing back.
320. Run the fuel lines.
Well,
Carlito, I've got the wing kit. It's got a stop so with finger lifts on the throttles. So if anyone gets any of the hardware from Wing for the fighter jets in DCS, get the ones with the F-16 Orion 2 throttle kit with the extension. So it's EX plus finger lifts. And what they do is it unlocks a detent which allows you to then shut the engines off. But you've got to physically lift those detents first. Let's get the world's cheesiest safety demonstration fired up.
In just a few moments, we'll be showing
Oh, I
you
hate the safety demo.
video.
It's awful.
Once the video has concluded, we'll be in
Cringe.
the house to answer any questions you have before we're seated for taxi out. Again, thank you for choosing Delta today. My name is Susan. I'm your purser for today's flight, along
20.
with Charles in the economy cabin.
Good old Charles.
We do welcome you aboard.
Now there's a prime example of someone who's not on CTAF.
At Delta, we think our world feels smaller when you get out in it.
Because he's
That's
just
why the
landed
best
with
men
no
and women in the
transmissions, no text, nothing.
Work each day to take you to the people, places, and cultures
So actually,
that make this world such an amazing place.
Please set parking brakes.
going to monitor 1228 as well.
One flight at a time.
Unlocking gear.
We are a planet of amazing differences.
Okay, engines 1 and 2.
And ideas that span
Oh,
our world.
good.
and lead us each
AP
to
shorty on
another.
bleed.
Whoever
Where are
you
we?
are.
Let's
Wherever you're going,
they're on automatic.
We are proud to fly you there.
because the first step towards
Because we are
connection
super
Is
corny.
departure.
welcome aboard. And thanks for flying with Delta.
Our first priority on every flight is the safety of our customers and
Oops,
crew.
wrong
So,
way.
before we depart,
Please pay attention to this important
Tampa
safety
traffic.
message.
Shopping at. I knew I'd forgot the gens.
Items are securely stowed.
Now I've got to sort the yaw damper out again.
Place smaller items, including handbags.
Check the rest of the overhead.
If you
Have we
use your
restored
electronic
dual
device in
FMC
your
yet?
seat, please do not adjust your seat.
I swear I do
And
that
ask
once
a
every
crew
3
member for
months.
assistance.
It's like
Please
a
ensure all
quarterly
aisles,
exits,
and
cock-up.
bulkhead areas are clear.
as we leave the gate, make sure
Okay,
your
that's
seatbelt
off.
is fastened. To fasten, insert the metal tip into the buckle and adjust the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release the belt, just
Okay,
lift the
good.
top
So
of the
auto brake
buckle.
refreshed.
If you're seated in the business class cabin, secure
Flap
your shoulder harness
5.
by attaching the metal
Set.
tip to the fitting on the
Pop
belt.
brakes
To
on.
release, remove the
That's
metal
good.
tip and allow the shoulder
Squawk
harness
is
to
set.
retract. Please remain seated with your seatbelt
Tampa
securely
traffic,
fastened
Delta
anytime
PMDG
the seatbelt
94
sign is off.
taxi
And even if
Go.
the sign is off,
Bravo
please keep
1.
your seatbelt fastened in
Alpha.
case you experience unexpected
And
repair.
For everyone's
459.
safety, regulations
It's about there.
require all passengers to comply with the posted placards and lighted information signs
We
located
want
throughout
heading
the
select.
cabin, in addition to any crew
VNAV.
member's instructions.
Auto thrust.
Smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, is not allowed on
Toby
any
eye tracker.
Delta flight, and federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying a restroom smoke detector.
There are 8 exits on this plane, 8 doors, 4 on each side. Each door has used as a raft. All
Hello, Mike.
exits are
Welcome.
clearly marked
Quick
with an
wiggle of the
exit
old
sign.
rudders.
However, if there's a loss
And
of
Jay,
power
good to see you, mate.
cabin visibility is
Tampa
reduced,
traffic,
lights will
Osprey
illuminate the aisles to
2472
guide you
is
to
taxiing
exit.
to
Please note
runway
that
and
exit
01
signs on this
right
airplane
via
identify
Golf
each
Golf
exit
2,
with a green
So
sign.
Toby
Charlie,
iTrack is
runway
definitely
10,
a bit weird.
holding point
Locate
Charlie
the
1
exit
for
nearest you
runway
using
1
these
right,
green
Tampa
signs.
traffic.
Because I'm not
Keeping in
facing
mind, the nearest
sideways.
exit might be behind you. In the event of an evacuation,
traffic,
leave all carry-on items behind. It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, the panels above your seat will open.
I'm actually looking to the sort of
If this tube
two-thirds
speeds up,
part
pull
of
the
my
mask
screen on the
over
right-hand
the street
side
towards you until the tube is
to have
stabilized.
that level.
Place the mask over
Don't know how to solve that.
Slip
Hello,
the
welcome.
strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also
Tampa
unlikely.
traffic,
But just in case,
Delta
life vests are
1235's
located under your seats
taxi
in the
in
main
via
cabin.
Victor 3 and
If
Whiskey
you're
to the
seated
whole
in the
point
business class
01
or
left.
Delta Premium Select cabin, life vests are located either in a compartment adjacent to your seat or under your armrest. To use,
I have no
remove
idea
the
what
vest
that
from its
guy's doing.
container by pulling on the tab and then opening
Anyone
the
else
pouch.
got that? American
Slip the
just
vest
sat on the
over
runway.
your head. Wrap the strap around your waist and attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the
Brilliant.
vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom of the vest, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level.
A water-activated light is attached to each vest. If necessary, we'll distribute additional life vests for children
Right.
who weigh 35 pounds.
There we
Now,
go.
before we take off,
So
ensure
that's
your
the
seat
lower
is
screen
upright and
sorted.
your tray table is put away. If you're seated in the business class cabin, ensure your suite door is open. Please note there is a placard on the door, visible when open, explaining how to use the suite door in case of an emergency. If you're seated in the main cabin, ensure your aisle armrests are lowered, and in the Delta Premium Select cabin, ensure your aisle armrests are raised.
I love this
As we come
PMDG
through the
737,
cabin
it's
for our
so
final
good.
safety check, please let us know if you have any questions. And finally, now would be a good time for everyone to
And
review the
this, I mean, it's so easy to tell strike this as well.
We
It's something
stand
we've got
as
to
an amazing
consider
world class. We celebrate
on that
all
rotation.
classes. Thank you for choosing Delta to be a part of your journey.
Yeah, living on play, that's what I do, so I toggled it and reset it, but for some reason today it's just a little bit sideways, so I can't really work out why.
Guys, in B pilot, you can't ignore that call sign.
To be fair, that's a bit better now actually. That's yeah, seems to make a bit of sense now. I've just given it a real push on the right hand side. So we're going to have to ignore that person, whatever the heck has gone on with their aeroplane or whatever they're doing. Nobody knows, except for them. So we're going to just take off with them in the way, because otherwise it gets a bit silly.
Traffic, Osprey Papa 8 is crossing runway 10 behind the traffic, Tampa traffic.
I'm going to try something. Ignore. Bink! Off he goes.
And Tampa traffic, Osprey 242, runway 10.
Hello, Centurio. Welcome.
Tampa traffic, Osprey 48 is clear, runway 01 as well. Behind the traffic, Tampa traffic.
Centurio, nice. So are you doing sim training on the CL60 then? Hence why you're doing a lot of CL60 flying in MSFS at the minute, or in X-plane at the minute. Is that why you're doing that, or are you training on a different aircraft?
Tampa traffic, Osprey 210, pushing back.
Ignition mode selectors are on automatic. I'm not going to bother turning them on to continuous. Just kind of a point that you can leave it in auto. Cal in Oregon, welcome. Long old taxiway this. Might leave a little notch of power in. Chase, no, I haven't got any errors on the tablet, mate. EC12, oh nice. I remember you saying that actually. Yeah.
And 12 will wait for the pushing traffic and then we'll push back facing south. Roger.
So, Whiskey 1.
American Airlines, AP20, what are you doing?
I've ignored it on VPilot AAL 1714.
Tampa traffic, Osprey 2472, lining up runway 01 right, expecting the Vapo 01 departure. Tampa traffic.
I reckon we go for a
traffic,
parallel departure.
It is.
We're in and see what happens.
Behind the traffic.
TARA, lights, signs, strobe steady. Oops. Little ghost input on the old thing there. And Tampa traffic Delta 1235, our Whiskey 1 lining up 01 left for a departure in turn onto the Vapor 1.
Tampa traffic, Virgin 5 Kilo Alpha, will taxi via Golf 1, Charlie to Charlie 1, holding port runway 01 right.
Ian, when are you rolling?
Tampa traffic, Osprey 2472, rolling runway 01 right. Tampa traffic.
So am I. We'll vector a little bit further out the way. 40%.
Tampa traffic, Osprey flight is lining up behind the traffic, runway 01
Tiger.
right. Tampa traffic.
Doors, disregard.
Delta 5894, lining up runway 01 up.
And Tampa Delta 1235 rolling.
Tampa traffic, Osprey 2 Alpha, taxi to Charlie 1
Power set.
right via Golf Charlie.
Definitely not looking to see if Ian's airborne yet. Use a lot of the runway here.
E1. Rotate.
Yeehaw! Little cant into wind.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Tampa traffic, Osprey 2472, airborne passing 1000 feet. Tampa traffic.
Oh, no way! Look at that!
Tampa traffic, Virgin 5 Kilo Alpha, crossing runway 10.
That's perfect parallel departure. I'll turn left and get out your way.
No, mate, that's good. I'll follow behind you.
That's fantastic. Look at that. Practicing my DCS formation flying for tomorrow.
That's a juicy departure right there.
Okay, gear lever off. Auto brake off. Get the runway turn off lights off. Now I've got to try and coordinate this very carefully.
Behind the bottom right. Osprey, Express north east.
He's all right there.
Tampa traffic. Tampa traffic, Osprey 2 South, crossing runway 10.
We're going to get a lot of that.
Tampa traffic, Osprey 2472 is tracking direct to Finky, passing through 4,200. Tampa traffic.
Tampa traffic, Delta 5894.
We'll hand fly this first little bit.
Runway 01 left.
Tampa traffic, Virgin 5 Kilo Alpha, lining up runway 01
A little bit of conflict
right.
resolution there. $18. Was it 35 for the cruise?
Tampa traffic, Delta 490, lining up 1 left.
CMD-A engage. And we'll change through flap 1. There he is. Epic. What an awesome departure that was. I mean, realistically, we wouldn't do that because we're going the same way, so they would be separated for obvious reasons.
The traffic Osprey 48 is airport 2008, climbing to level 350, directing Mazulu. Traffic.
On to 1228 now. And we'll just keep with the vectors. Definitely Centuria. Yeah, I need a little bit of active guidance from people effectively to try and make sure I get it right. Ian, what's your cruise altitude, mate? I mean, tomorrow's video, it's going to, well, the live stream rather, is going to focus on
Flight level 390 for Osprey 2472.
Roger, thanks. Yeah, it's going to focus on a couple of different things, but mainly we're just going to be going through some of the included tutorials within the FA-18C on on DCS. So that's going to be the kind of theme for the for tomorrow's live stream, which is ordinarily something a little different to probably what you might expect or what you otherwise might know. But I am so new to DCS that I've actually got to learn all of it first. I have downloaded, I put it in the members lounge area earlier, Centurio, because I've got the Persian map. I've got that really cool, where has it gone? That freeware mission campaign, 13 mission DCS FA-18 campaign by Sedlo called Operation Bold Cheetah. Loads of carrier ops and all sorts of really cool stuff. So we'll be diving into that. Where is he? Oh, can't see him. Jayford, yeah, I'm on Unicom now, 1228. But when we're in the vicinity of the airfield, we choose an earlier location, like the local CTAF frequency. Have you just had a CTD in?
Delta 1235, Osprey 2472. I've maintained 6,000 just so it's separated the clearance.
Yeah, Roger, I'm climbing through 10,000 at the moment, flight level 350. Should be enough space.
Hey, firm, we'll start climbing now. Osprey 2472, cheers.
Centura says, I should have sent you my custom training mission before I left. I used to do it a lot with new people, but it's on my PC at home. No worries. That'd be good for me to like tickle into, because I found the included profile sort of tutorials in DCS aren't great. They're a little bit buggy.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we climb to our cruising altitude, we'd like to extend a special thank you to each of you.
Pressurizing nicely.
Back to our SkyMile members and Million Milers. Your business and loyalty are greatly appreciated by the entire Delta family. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened.
That's my favourite view.
The seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience.
Yeah, once I've learnt enough, then I'll fire myself into some training exercises and campaign missions and things. I've got 3 screenshots of that parallel departure, putting them on Volanta now.
We've now reached an altitude where it's safe.
It's the little things like that that make it really fun.
And a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it'll be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water, juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies.
Oh, Centurio, you should have seen my attempts to do air-to-air refueling yesterday. I spent 35-40 minutes on it last night, and
complete listing of
it wasn't
available
it wasn't
beverages,
easy. I think
as well
weight
as refreshing
turbulence might have been
items
turned
coming
up
on
as
in
well
the
in the
menus.
tutorial
Use pocket.
kind of campaign that's preloaded in, because
Please be
the second I
reminded
got
that
close
accepts
to
only major
the
credit or
tanker,
debit cards for onboard
I was just
purchases of
getting
beverages and snacks.
blasted around all over the place.
However,
I
you
could
can use
not
your Delta
keep
Sky
stable
Miles
flight
American
at
Express
all.
card.
And then just as
Receive
I'd back
50%
off,
and earn
reset,
miles
go
on all
again,
Delta purchases.
get it nice and stable, start to creep in towards the
For your
basket,
enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your
I
own
would
personal
all of a
information
sudden get
system
hit with
on it.
insane levels
You
of
also
weight
mentioned
turbulence
complimentary
again,
as well as
and
on-demand TV shows,
I
movies,
actually
and
couldn't do
music.
it. I gave up in the end.
You will find that this screen will work best with just a light tap of your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know. They are yours complimentary for this and any
Really
future
tough.
Delta flights.
Because I've noticed on some of these tutorial videos for DCS, they're not getting the weight turbulence. So I think what they've done is they've created a custom mission with air-to-air refueling as a factor within it. But what they've actually done is turned off weight turbulence, or put it to like a lower setting, so that they can just align and connect with the basket quite nicely without getting blasted around all over the place. Because otherwise I have no idea how they actually do it. Because this, even when I was getting nice and stable and smooth and just gradually inching towards the aeroplane, it would get to the point where all of a sudden I would get a bit of weight turbulence, but the whole aircraft would be blasted, and I'd just either rock it up unstably, or I'd drop down, or a wing would drop significantly, and it would take me like 5,000 feet to get that back, having not really put any control inputs in myself. It's hard. Joe, rookie, mistake. You should go onto the live streams thread in our Discord server. In there, mate, you'll get the actual route that I'm using for this flight, and then you can just copy and paste that into your sim brief stuff. Bingo. Yeah, basically tomorrow is going to be all about tinkering with DCS, so it's not going to be a big campaign mission, because I don't really understand how they work yet. What we'll be doing instead is diving into the tutorials, fiddling with settings, trying to get my head around the keybinds. So for those of you who might be thinking, you know what, I've always wanted to try DCS, what you'll be able to do is see how I'm getting on with the learning process, to see whether or not you think it's something you want to do. Because it's one heck of a headache. It makes flying a 737 a walk in the park. $20,000. Over to Volanta. See how we're getting on. So, there's us up front. I think we've got Ian behind with his screenshots. Oh, there's me. Epic. JetBlue. Awesome sunrise. We're on live weather live time. Zato's behind in the 747-400. We don't have that with the Delta skin, so this is why it's modelled. I think it's a Delta 767. It's the nearest realistic kind of thing. David's airborne as well, followed by Osprey 27 Alpha and Badger in the Mad Dog MD-88. Stunning. I did wonder who was in the Mad Dog actually. That's a nice challenge. JetBlue 48 on a parallel departure with JetBlue 2810. That American's just still crashed and sat there. I reckon he's landed with autopilot and then just walked away, not realised. And that concludes our little fly along for today. And you can see our routing a bit better there actually, as opposed to the Navigraph map. Kind of working up through South Carolina. Past Raleigh, Durham International, Richmond, south of Washington as well, so Washington National. Where's... Oh, there's Dulles. Over a little bit of Delaware, past Philly, and then into New York. And there's a lot of scenery loaded in here. I've also actually got the carrier pack. So these things here, this is the Miltech Simulations carrier packs. What's that? I think that's the Queen Elizabeth. And that's CVN 76, whatever American ship that is. So we're actually going to fly over an aircraft carrier in the lower New York Bay. Now there was a really cool river visual which takes you up the Hudson past Central Park, and then at Columbia University, which is around here, Morningside Heights, you basically turn at the corner of Central Park, you turn off the Hudson onto a very, very short final approach. But that's something that you wouldn't really get on VATSIM, I don't think ever. The ATIS for La Guardia at the moment is Information Oscar, altimeter 3032, and they are using ILS runway 4 approach and departing runway 13. Which is a straight in approach, basically. Looks like that. So, what have we got here? Just going to tinker. So runway 13 has got a 5 knot tail headwind and a 13 knot crosswind. 04 is significantly better on the weather there. Look, 13-degree headwind, 5 knot crosswind. But runway 31 for the river visual is not in place, sadly, which is a shame. Yeah, the river visual for Washington DCA, Mike, is stunning. Really good. Very hard as well. So the Proud 2 on arrival starts many, many hundreds of nautical miles away at waypoint Hertz. From there, working all the way past Skippy, Bessie, all these other waypoints, past Philadelphia as well. Past Joint Base McGuire, then all the way into New York, waypoint Proud, before routing directly in. Newark will be on the left, JFK on the right, Manhattan on the left on short final as well. But yeah, runway ILS 4 is probably what we're going to expect, because that is what they're using in real life. It's actually quite short, 2,134 meters. It's the Skiathos of America. Oh. Every country's got to have something similar to Skiathos. Master caution for fuel. Wesley, good evening. All Dursey 2, it's about 2 hours, mate, I think. off the top of my head. Oops, wrong button. There we are. So that's the overview of LaGuardia's positioning. So JFK is massive there compared to the little dinky LaGuardia. We've got Newark. There's Teterboro as well, which we have also got installed. We've got, is it the Dream Flight Teterboro? Can't remember. Interestingly, Newark's not here. Unless it's just maybe off the map slightly. I thought Newark's kind of around there. But yeah, perhaps it's not. It's just off map. Yeah, nestled right in the mess of it all, really. What's that? There's the Class B airspace layout. So LaGuardia is nestled tightly within Newark and JFK's kind of wider airspace there. If we've got Copter ILS 13, we're not doing that. So this is the river visual that I mentioned at runway 13. So from Vezi, I'm just going to turn the other right centre tank off now. Expect 4,000, and then from that it's going to be past the Statue of Liberty, up the Hudson, and then turning inbound. But we're going to be flying ILS runway 4, which, yeah, to be fair, David, I think somebody mentioned that yesterday as well, actually. It's David saying there, if he understands correctly, the ILS is hand-flown because of where the transmitters are located in LaGuardia. So it's more of a visual approach, more than anything else. Number 1 there, autopilot coupled approach not authorised. Going below the glide path may not provide obstacle clearance inside the DA. Crossing runway threshold below chartered TCH may not provide required visual area obstacle clearance. And VGSI and ILS glide path not coincident. Missed approach is just fly runway heading, climb to 2000, continue, climb and hold to 2000 at the LaGuardia VOR. And then we kind of cross back to give it another shot. But it's going to be tough. Minimums 262, 283. And that airport elevation 21, we'll tune that in the box. It's the nearest we can get to 0. And then we also want the ILS, so course 044, frequency 110.5. $110.5, $110.5, Canarsie 12.3, and what else have we got here? LaGuardia 13.1. Workout, welcome. No worries, mate. Auto brake's going to be 2. And then we're going to take up the slack with manual brakes instead of using the auto brakes. It's very firm when we do touchdown. And I'm also now going to go direct to team. What was that? Invalid entry. Just to give us a little bit of separation from Ian behind us. Canadian Flight Sim says, sounds like Sim Update 15 might be delayed again by another week. Oof, I wonder what's holding it up so much. I confess I haven't watched any of the developer streams that they do. Just haven't had the time for it. There he is. Just there. If I position the tail right at the front of his contrail. So hopefully that will give us a nice little bit of sep. Well, that's quite the direct to 100 nautical miles. But I'm hoping that would just give us about 10 miles separation from the others, he says. And if a controller comes online, I'll just say that I'm going in that direction for the purpose of separation. They can't really complain about that, I don't think. If anything, they'll appreciate how we've done it. Custom view's gone a bit balked there. David says he was talking to a couple of Southwest pilots recently, and they were talking about the recent Southwest near miss of the tower in weather. In La Guardia. Crikey. That's a squeaky bum moment. Oh, you're at 10 nautical miles now, Ian. Oh, that'd have been fine then. Flying Panda says, have you got the G Suite turned on in Microsoft Flight Simulator right now? No, unfortunately not. I probably should though, really. Although I just don't do any of that kind of flying in this. Canadian Flight Sim says maybe he's hoping there that May is going to be 777 month for the PMDG and the Flight Factor 777 as well, saying that's getting very close for X-Plane, and hoping that the PMDG 777 comes shortly as well from MSFS. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to MSFS's 777 from PMDG whenever it does show up. It's going to be fantastic, isn't it? A lot to learn. Got nothing on the FA-18 though. That's for sure. Ashley says, talking about the sim updates, sim update 15 will be the one and only sim update for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 coming this year. The development time will go full time into MSFS 2024, and then this time next year we can expect another sim update, updating things to make sure there's commonality between MSFS 2020 and MSFS 2024. Crikey. We're excited. Fly Tim says, good afternoon, DCS has been reinstalled for him, along with the FA-18 Charlie. Track IR's been set up, Thrustmaster Warthog sticks installed, and he's loaded with joystick config files from the DCS site as well. Ordered a new PCB from Thrustmaster for the throttle. Looks like you're getting back into DCS. Mike, yeah, I can't go on to DirectX 12 anymore. So when I said earlier this is going to be a significant test for my computer, I've been running the RTX 4090 ever since I've had it with DirectX 12 and FrameGen switched on. So I think this is going to be interesting. The sim might struggle with this as we fly into New York, with Newark, Teterboro, JFK and the New York City pack all installed alongside LaGuardia. I think that's it's going to be quite interesting. So I really don't know what to expect from our arrival actually in performance with this, because I've got everything dialed up massive. Multiple world and city updates coming throughout the year, Ashley says, for MSFS 2020. Next city update is for more European cities, and then the next world update is going to be Brazil. That would be nice. Good old Brazil. Beautiful place. Imagine nice. He's installed DCS, going to give it a go. I hope one of the focus cities is Rio de Janeiro for the world update. It's already nice as it is with Christ the Redeemer and all the rest of it, but I think if they did special sort of enhanced photogrammetry for that area, it would be really stunning. Oh yeah, for those of you who are channel members and you were in our chat in the club lounge yesterday, I think you might remember, you might have seen me chatting about how I joined a multiplayer server and I couldn't work out for the life of me how to spawn in. I was just kind of stuck in spectator mode. Well, it turns out that I didn't select a role, so I just joined the server thinking it would spawn me in my FA-18 at a spawn point, like a carrier or whatever it might have been at the time. But no, it turns out you have to select a role within the list of roles available for it to actually then load you into the server as an active participant, which I didn't realise at the time. I figured that out at 9 PM last night with Mrs. wondering why I'm still on my computer. So I'm learning the FA-18. At which point I got a bit of a tut, and then she walked off. I did a little bit of air-to-air combat yesterday, just to see how that all worked. Managed to go against 4 F-14s and 1. But I still, for the life of me, can't understand how to work my countermeasures. So I'm really struggling with that because I haven't gone into the system to activate and arm any of them, which I think is where I've gone a bit wrong. Steph, good afternoon. David, nor me. I am as new as you can imagine for DCS. Yeah, you know, like if somebody wants to get into Microsoft Flight Simulator for the first time, and they're scratching their head, wondering, oh my god, there's so many options, everything's expensive. What the heck do I choose? What do I do? I'm a little bit like that with DCS at the moment, scratching my head, thinking, my god, it's just so complex. Where do I start? But the hardware has gone a long way in helping accelerate that learning process, most definitely. But yeah, if lots of people are enjoying it, maybe we could create some sort of mission and then go create a server where we can all connect and fly a mission together and things like that. Could be quite fun. But there's so much variety with, you know, ground attack, defense, close air support, air-to-air combat. All of that stuff, I don't really understand how you know what your role is and what you're meant to do. And the tutorials don't actually tell you either. It's kind of like you've got to figure it out. There are some real-world pilots flying MSFS as well. Yeah, David says, if you don't mind me asking, how much have you invested so far in DCS? Hey, I don't mind. I have. So the first purchase I made. In fact, let me load it up. DCS. It's on my profile. So I downloaded it for free, and then I purchased a whole load of products. And the first order that you make, effectively gets you, there it is, 50% off your total order. So in that one big wad, I purchased the Syria map, DCS Super Carrier, the Persian Gulf map, and the FA-18C. That cost me $120 US. And then more recently, I've bought the Afghanistan map as a pre-order, and the Apache AH-64D. They're obviously full price because I haven't got a 50% off discount now. That's $113 for those. And then I've just pre-ordered the Chinook, which was $49 US. So that's already adding up. 120, 113, 49. That's $282 US plus. In fact, 282 USD in GBP. So that's £226 plus £550 for my Wing specialist kit, the HOTAS F16 throttle with finger lifts and the F15 EX2 HOTAS. So that's £832, so I've basically spent $1,000 already. And I haven't even got into it yet. But that's what I mean. I want to give it a real good go. And I've tried before, and I've really struggled because I just haven't had the hardware for it. It's a bit, well, to be fair, David, the first $120 I spent was, I mean, that was 50% off, so that would have been $240 if I hadn't got that first order 50% discount. But yeah, that first $120 was back in 2022 when MSFS broke for like 2 weeks. I think it was around Sim Update 5, and I got so frustrated that I thought, you know what, I'm going to get DCS. But didn't have any of the hardware for it, so I found it impossible to kind of get my head around, unfortunately. So then I shelved it and I hadn't used it since, until the Afghanistan map and the Chinook started to get teased in their trailers. That's then sucked me straight back in again. And actually the Miltech Simulations Chinook for MSFS is what got me tempted. That's got the juices flowing for some proper military flying. So yeah, a lot of money invested, which I'll be paying off over the next few months. Just to kind of, I want to offer something a bit different, but actually genuinely really give it a proper go. Eulacer, welcome mate. Hope you're well. 9 months indeed. Appreciate the support. Okay, so ILS 14 still in use. So let's go ahead and get our the arrival procedure put in. So into La Guardia, ILS 04. We don't want any of those. We just want to go straight onto the Proud 2 from Hertz. Because from there we go to Waypoint Proud, which is just offset from Waypoint Benning, which is why we don't want to put one of those in. So we get Proud, the waypoint there is going to be then a direct to final. Done. Yeah, not related to Microsoft Flight Simulator whatsoever, David. It's a completely different sim, and it's all about military flying. So there's ordnance, there's bombs, there's surface-to-air missiles. There's like a package that you can download so you can drive tanks and take part in a battle in the tanks. And on a multiplayer server, you can then have people flying Apaches giving close air support to the tanks. So depending on what angle you want, somebody mentioned old school flying as well. Maybe simulate World War II missions in teams, Grant said there. Yeah, so there's Spitfires and all that sort of thing as well. So it depends what kind of branch off you want. There's helicopters, there's fast jets, there's training aeroplanes, there's helos, and then there's tanks, Spitfires, all sorts. The Kiowa is coming to DCS as well, so they'll team up with the Apaches. Interesting. I don't know what that is. Kiowa. Kiowa helicopter. Oh, the Bell 58. Oh, that looks pretty ruthless. Oh, Vietnam era. Defense news. 8th of February 2024, the US Army have spent billions on a new helicopter that will now never fly. Oops. Kevin says, when did you start flying? In what sense? I've been flying real life since I was 13. And I've then gone through various things, became a flying instructor for the Air Cadet organisation for a little while as well in the UK, but then realised very quickly that I don't have enough money to become a real pilot, so here I am, flying the sim. But yeah, I'm not a real pilot, as much as I would love to be one. There's our PMDG 737-900ER. Grant, yeah, you can download a pack which allows you to then drive a tank, and then you can fire the tank weaponry at helicopters and all that sort of thing. But I don't know how that works. I mean, depending on how much you want to get into DCS, it depends on what you want to purchase from their website, really, because you get that 50% off from the very first order. So it's something worth bearing in mind. But you also get free trials, by the way. So if you go onto the DCS main website, there's right at the very top, there's a button on the right that says free trials. And if you click on that, you can basically choose any product in the entire list of things, except for one or two third-party products. But anything made by DCS, you'll see there'll be a link that says trial next to it instead of buy, so it will say more, buy, trial. And trial basically gives you 2 weeks. It gives you 2 weeks of complete use to test it, see how you get on, see whether or not you want to purchase it. But that's more on like the products of all that sort of thing, like the aeroplanes and stuff. Well, it depends on what your eyesight is, mate. Yeah, going back onto the DCS thing, my advice would be to sort of consider what sort of flying you want to do, and then try and buy all of the packages that you might want or need for a whole, just into one order, because that one order will get you half price. So instead of it costing you, say, $250, it will cost you $125 US instead. But in that, you'll get two or three maps. You might get 2 aeroplanes and a helicopter. That's a bit of an idea. And then on their forum, those of you in our members lounge in Discord, there'll be that link. So if you buy the Persian, map, then you can download that Bold Cheetah mission, which is what I've just downloaded before the stream today. So eventually I want to get a point where I can actually complete that Bold Eagle mission. 13 different missions created by somebody who've then provided that to everyone in the DCS community for free, based on kind of real ops. Canadian Flight Sim says it's really interesting listening to Matt Wags from Eagle Dynamics with his story how he's wanted to be a fighter pilot and unfortunately couldn't, so now he puts his passion into DCS. Epic. What are the chances of him kind of not making it and then thinking, you know what, I'm gonna do it in a game instead, so I'm gonna create a game. Pretty cool. $3035 for the altimeter in La Guardia, so I'm just going to preset that. I've already got the minimum set. Still got a fair way to go. We've got battered by this 62 knot crosswind as well. If I just get DCS, where is it? Just going to get this screen up here. So I can share what I'm talking about with you folks. So this is a DCS website. There's that free trials button. So what I mentioned before, you can just go onto eShop as well and go into modules. And the ones that you can have a trial on will have that option there as a trial. But you can see there the price of that's $49.99. F-16, $80. You get miles as well for what it's worth. So when you purchase that for $80, you then get miles. Those miles can then help discount your future purchases effectively. DCS Supercarrier, you absolutely want that. There's the Apache, $63.99. It's on an early access, slight discount at the minute. P51 Mustang. There's a trial available for that bad boy. Black Shark 3. You got the MB339 buying to Fox to Echo. Similar to that in the MSFS, they've released it for the for DCS as well. Mirage F1, Mosquito for some old school flying as well. Hind MI-24P. Good old A10 Brr machine. Thunderbolts. So there's a whole variety of aeroplanes. Some of them are really high fidelity and some of them don't. Yeah, your first ever purchase is half price, so that's where it's worth looking at all of this going, you know what do I want from this experience? What aeroplane do I want to fly the most? Razbam, Harrier, a couple of little mods and add-ons as well, 5 pages of things. There is a Spitfire, yes. Have we gone past it? Maybe not. Let's see if we can find it. The A10 sounds very hard, to be fair. And yeah, there's a summer sale coming up too. So even if you buy 1 or 2 things 50% off, you might then notice that there's... I wonder if they have any vacancies. Come on, internet. Oh. What happened in here? That's the one, Grant. CTAF in La Guardia, 18.7. Yeah, the Vision's on there. What's going on there? Digital Combat Flight Simulator. Oh, now it loads. Back to page 4. World War II Assets Pack. There you go. So you get numerous World War II air, land and sea assets to populate the Normandy and other DCS world maps with. That's $30. It will give you lots of World War II era stuff. There's the Vision, $60. And there's the Spitfire Mark 9. $50 there for that. Tiger 2, Gazelle, Mirage 2000, Albatross, MiG-15s. Bloody ugly thing that. MiG-21 as well. Old school German aircraft as well. Curve first, Sabres. There's the Huey again. There's the combined arms, so that's what I was on about with tanks. Combined arms give you control of ground forces during the battle. Use the command map to move ground forces, set artillery, fire missions and control the ground battle. Assume the role of Joint Terminal Attack Controller, JTAC in multiplayer and designate targets for player-controlled close air support aircraft or directly control armoured vehicles or air defence weapons to engage the enemy. Yeah. I don't know if I need that for what I have, the FA-18. It's got the F-16 and stuff listed on here as like popular options to go with it, so it may well be that I need that as well. But I don't know how that works. Yeah, Flaming Cliffs 3. I've heard very varied kind of things about that. There's the Afghanistan map. Discount at the moment because it's pre-release. Sinai is meant to be really nice. South Atlantic covers the Falklands, Argentina, Chile. So, but I've got Syria, Persian Gulf, and the Caucasus, which is included by default. The channel map, for those of you who want to do Battle of Britain type flying, that's where that comes in really well, based on how it was in June 1940. And then you can download, do missions and things with the Spitfires and recreate the Battle of Britain and all that. But on the forums, if I just load that up, squadron recruiting. No. There's a section here. So within the forums you can generally find people offering big mission packs together. There's a bit of JTAC utilisation there for people that like all that. There's an incoming introduction of Global War and Terrorism Ground Unit participants. And this chap here used to be a US Marine Corps JTAC. Amazing. So a lot of military folk that really are quite active inside the DCS community, which is quite nice. You can contact campaign creators from here or offer your help here. Training tutorials. Training missions, here we go. So this is people that have put massive missions all together for various aeroplanes. So we could find, I wonder if there's one for the F-18. There we go, red flag training missions. Advanced training missions based on red flag. And you can just download it, put them in the files, and you'll see them as a campaign or a training exercise for the aeroplane that you want to fly, providing you own that product. Inside the forums here as well is where you'll find all the liveries for things as well. But I've still yet to understand how to select a livery. Dogfight BVR menu, F-18 Hornet munitions training in the Caucasus region. There you go, wonderful mission. So you can download loads of these. In fact, I might download that one for a little later on. Perhaps we can dive into it tomorrow and have a little look. And then DLC campaigns. Various downloadable campaigns that you can get hold of as well. Yeah, pretty cool. User files, there we go, download user files. Wow. So let's see, with that then I have to select the aircraft that I've got, F-18. Show. See what it gives us. Mr. Season, welcome. Iran enrichment plant strike. Loads of liveries. There's the big mod that turns it into a Super Hornet. But I won't do that yet until I've got my head around the actual Hornet. As it is. Georgia, OCA strikes. There's loads of missions. Somebody said to me in a comment the other day that I picked a very odd time to get into DCS. I'm not quite sure what they mean by it, but I'm looking forward to it. Something a bit fresh and a bit different and exciting as well. Andy says loves the Vision. Mr. Season says you can always hop onto the Hoggit training server. So is that on multiplayer, where you click multiplayer then type Hoggit into the search thing, like I would when I'm finding the 4-year servers. is it the same principle for the Hoggit servers? Steph says he's just started to learn Serpent's Head 2 campaign, not too far yet, but it's helping me learn bit by bit. Are you in the F-18 then, or are you in a different aircraft, Steph? There's a couple of freeware aircraft that you can download for DCS as well. But what's really nice is the fact that you do have the ability to sort of download something. You'd be like, you know what, I want to fancy giving the F-16 Viper a go for 2 weeks. And then you can just go onto the DCS store, as we've just been on it, click on trial, it'll activate for 2 weeks, blast around, see what you think. If you want to purchase it, then you can. If not, it will just remove itself at the end. So I'm not really sure how tomorrow is going to go, because there's no real plan, and that's because I'm so new to DCS. This is going to be more of an exploration to see. You get to watch me learn things and kind of tickle around on DCS and work stuff out, perhaps even with your guidance inside the live chat, which would be quite cool. Steve, welcome to you as well. Flying Panda says Orbex are releasing Kola Peninsula scenery soon. They are indeed. Although I've been told that's going to have a huge gigabyte requirement. So we'll see what happens there. I've got the Apache, Mr. Season, but so far I've been kind of flying it. The included tutorials I'm not finding particularly helpful, which I think is probably slowing me down a little bit. And I don't think I've quite got my keybinds for both the F-18 or the Apache quite set up to be as optimal as I would like. Sean, you can, yes. We've turned the 2 centre tanks off so far because they've run out of fuel, so yeah, you can turn them on and off. Probably not going to buy any more modules yet though. Mr. Season says there he recommends the Huey or the ME8. I want to kind of get my head around the F-18 first. I almost pulled the plug on getting the F-16 because it being a lot nimbler, more agile and all the rest of it, but oh Sean, you mean the actual cut-off switches? Those. You just need to go to menus, PMDG setup, aircraft, equipment. Page 14 of 17, cut-off switch style, new or old. That's how you do it. Steph, yeah, I've seen a bit of Casmo TV. Getting your head around some of that stuff's so hard though. And yeah, with the Apache for example, it's a 2-ship. So you've got the role of pilot, but then you've also got the role of gunner. So you've got to set up all of your keybinds based on whichever role that you're undertaking at that point in time, so that it can get quite tricky. But in multiplayer, one person can be the co-pilot gunner, the other person can be the pilot, or vice versa. So you can choose your preference and dive in. Especially, Tim, when you're used to MSFS, right? So now the cockpit textures can really vary in quality. Some of the trial aircraft might not give someone an appreciation of something like the F-18 or the A-10 is. Loads of videos though to take a peek at. Yeah, I think when I first loaded in some of the default aircraft that are already included for free in DCS, I think the quality of those is awful. And I remember looking at them thinking, my goodness, compared to Microsoft Flight Simulator, the graphics are terrible. But actually, when you download a map like Syria or Persian Gulf or whatever it might be, and you look down, it is actually not too dissimilar from that view. It's really nice. Fair enough, Mr. Season. I think a lot of people are now kind of going into the F-16. Looks really cool. I mean, it's a stunning looking jet as well, isn't it? Let's face it. The F-18's quite clunky. Not as manoeuvrable either, or as fast as compared to the F-16. And the F-16's massively less thirsty on fuel as well. I think tomorrow what we'll start with is to do like a carrier landing and stuff like that, carrier takeoffs. I'm quite happy with carrier takeoffs, but I'm conscious that you guys might want to see me doing a few live as well, so we might start with those. For the tutorials, you get like a big pop-up text to the top right, and it takes a little while for you to kind of wait for the voiceover to finish before you can press space and move across and all the rest of it. So, ooh, Devon, what's the drama with Razbam? I'm not sure. I'm so new to the DCS, I don't know anything about anyone really. What's the drama? Sean, when do you think the PMDG 777 is coming out? Absolutely no idea, mate. Unfortunately, nobody knows. Hopefully some point in May. I like the idea of the Harrier, but for that I'll end up doing a whole load of... I know what I'll end up doing. I'll end up buying the Falklands maps and all that sort of thing, so... Madness. Absolutely, Clipper. Interesting, so... Short story from Devon there saying Razbam allegedly have broken a contract with Eagle Dynamics, the makers of DCS, which have caused them to hold payments to Razbam. Darren, got this. Which PMDG 737 should he buy next? He's got the 600 already. If you want to do real world ops, then get the 800. It's probably the most flexible of all of them, but it's entirely what you want. The 900 is great because it's so long. You've got to really kind of rotate carefully on the takeoff, because otherwise you'll end up smashing the tail out off the back. Same with landing as well. If you flare too heavily, you'll end up tail striking the jet. It depends what you want out of your own experience, really. Darren, yes, the heads-up display is an option inside the PMDG menu. It's called HGS. Let's see, which one is it in? It's in equipment. There it is. Page 12. HGS installed, yes or no? I don't really use it, to be fair, because it's very distracting. I don't like the heads-up display, so I'm only putting it on today because we don't really use it that much. So I thought I'd see how it all works. I'd not really thought about that. So if you have the F-16, you can't do carrier ops. FlyTim says, have I thought about downloading a HOTAS profile from the DCS site to save manually binding the buttons? So what I've done is, I've got the WinWing hardware, and within the SimApp Pro software there are shared profiles from various other people who have done their own sort of thing. So what I've ended up doing is just clicking one of those, which then feeds in all of the keybinds into DCS for me. And then I've tweaked a couple, basically, and then saved them as my own profile. Oh, don't, that'd be cool. Sea Harrier, hopefully. Nick, it might be depending on the liveries. Some liveries have got them, have got it set up so, you know, if an airline has not purchased the heads-up display as an option, some livery creators have tried to replicate that in the sim to mimic that of real life setup, basically. So, Chris, this is the 737-900 today, mate, with from PMDG, not the Dreamliner. I did look at the F-15, but I just thought, if I end up, purchasing too many aeroplanes, getting all excited about DCS, I think what would happen is I'd end up not really learning any of them that well. So I figured, I mean, I'd really want to get into my Apache and go blast around, but I figured that if I dived into that too much, then I would neglect the FA-18. And I want to do some more fighter jet stuff. I think that flying the F-18 might then help me transition to the Apache instead, rather than it being the other way around. But what I can do is I'll show you from the WinWing website the hardware that I've purchased, because I showed it in the video the other day when I was like, I'm starting DCS, but it didn't really come out all that well. But that's what made me think about WinWing, the FCU. I'd never heard of them until that point. And then I noticed they did this, the Orion 2 HOTAS Max. That's what I've purchased, £536. So it comes with the throttle base, 15 EX metal throttle grips with finger lifts. The finger lifts are really important. Then the Orion 2 joystick base and the 16 EX metal joystick grip with shaker kit. And it's a really nice bit of hardware. So you get those 5 things arrive in the box. And the 16 EX metal grip gives you an extra 2 buttons on the left hand side and like a triggery thing. It's really neat. There she is. Look at that. Oh, it's going to be a silly video. Quite easy to set up. A couple of very small screws and nuts. And they actually sell an Airbus joystick grip, which is on the right there, so you can pull off my 16EX metal grip. I can pull that off and I can plonk down the A3XX Airbus joystick instead. I've just noticed the F-18 joystick metal grip there. That's the one I've got. Loads of buttons. Yeah, it can be used in MSFS as well, David. There's the throttle grip. Where is it? See if I can get a picture. There it is. But with the finger lifts at the front. So there's 2 little flappy paddles just in front of that sort of right angular curve there. It's not in those images though. Yeah, that's what I've got now. AJ Fernani says, I can't even decently land a normal aeroplane. Something tells him that DCS would be a fireball of a disaster for him. Hopefully not. I mean, if I do these carrier landings tomorrow, you're going to see how ruddy awful I am at that. But it's all learning, isn't it? Yeah, I've had to go from a massive focus of civil aviation and very strict procedural stuff and all the rest of it to a lot more high octane, fast paced action, and a completely different pattern. The way all of it works, you know, flying 350 knots at 800 feet past a carrier and then idling the throttle, braking left and pulling 3.5 G and gently easing that off as the speed reduces onto a downwind leg down to 600 feet and then managing the angle attack with power. It's something that's just so far from what I've ever done that in itself is actually going to be quite difficult to learn. Magezi in Uganda, East Africa, good morning to you, welcome. Hope you're well. Although I think it's good afternoon in East Africa. I Fly Simex, welcome. Delta Tango in Wisconsin, welcome, good morning. Yeah, you don't really flare the F-18, as Steph is saying. You basically set your angle of attack, and then you control the rate of descent from the power. But you basically hold a couple of degrees nose up all the way, and you just let it slam on the runway, basically. Or at least that's how it is in the tutorials. Because on the boat, that's precisely what you need to do to capture the little hook thing on the carrier to stop on the carrier. iFlySimX, thank you very much. Very generous of you there. Appreciate that. It's gifted 1 channel membership for the next month to Steph. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Steph, for the next month, you've got that channel membership gifted. Head over to Discord. If you're in our Discord server, link your YouTube user account into your Discord settings in the connection tab, and it will get you access into our club lounge, the little kind of members only section of Discord for the month. Very excited. Welcome. Welcome to the club. There's Hertz already. 160 nautical miles is the start of the star. Oh, and again, AJ Finani, welcome to you as well. Another gifted channel membership. Snazzy. On the charts, we've zipped all the way up here. Where's Wisconsin? There it is. So we're passing Raleigh at the moment. From Hertz, which is all the way there by Cape Charles, Richmond Airport, we start this mega star. So even though we're in the star, we're not actually going to start descent until Ridgey, and this star is going to be sectioned off so that we are stepping and weaving between all of the Newark and the JFK traffic into and out of New York, because La Guardia obviously takes less of a precedence than the other 2 big airports. So this is all designed to kind of step and weave us through the craziness of New York airspace. So down to Ridgey at 270, and then Smyrna at flight level 240 at or above, Skippy between 19 and 22, and then onto local pressure for Bessie at or above 17,000, working the descent down to Holy, where there's a hold, little H there, if it's really busy. Won't be necessarily needing that though. Corrie at 10,000. From there, Depty with another hold if it's busy, and then working into Jersey, Renew, Apple, and then Proud, straight onto the final, the ILS 04. They're all of the different runway options at the moment. So runway 4 is the landing runway. Runway 31 has got it used to be the expressway visual, but it's not anymore. It's the parkway visual, which is a little bit wider. That is not used, and we can't use that today because of the weather, sadly. So we're sticking with runway 04. Flight Sim says select immortal mode, and it's a breeze. By the way, if your speakers or headset volume is high and you get a missile hit, when you're unaware, it'll scare the life out of you. I'm trying to split my audio so that I've got the tutorial sounds and the kind of ATC stuff in my headset and the rest of it in my speakers, my PC speakers, but I can't seem to split the two. And to find the CTAF, we're going to go .ctaf KLGA on vPilot. I'll just show you the display there. You can see there I did .ctaf KLGA, and it will come up with the frequency. Whoa! AJ Finani. Mega, super generous, thank you very much. Look at that, just dropped a whopper 10 channel memberships as a gift to some of you guys watching today. So welcome to Tenured Amoeba, Christian Tocco, Callum Robinson, Nick S, John Bran, Steve Levesque, Papa Lazaro, Aviation Simulation, Split Notion, and Gary Shepherd. All been gifted 10. You've been gifted a membership the channel here for the next month. Appreciate it, AJ Finani. Super generous. All of you guys, welcome to the club. Make sure you link your YouTube into your Discord so you get access to our club lounge. You can join kind of the chat in there as well, our little members area. Smashing. Thank you very much. I appreciate the generosity. Very kind. $18.7 for the CTAF frequency. Fuel's looking good. Still got 160 miles to top of descent. The only other thing to do would be set our landing weight, which is going to be around 66.3. I'll whack it 66.4. Flap 30, flap 40. Oh, there's actually quite a big difference between the two there. Go for flap 40. $66, 400. We'll go landing flap 40. Water brake 2. All operational reversers. Packs on. I mean, that's pretty good. That'll work. It'll actually be shorter than that because halfway down after touchdown we'll revert to manual brakes to decelerate the aeroplane ourselves instead. It's just a bit smoother than getting like auto brake 3 or 4 set. My goodness, living on a player. Let's go. A big thank you to you there as well. Good morning. 5 more channel memberships gifted for the next month. Crikey. That's a total of 17 new channel members for the next 30 days. So big welcome to Dave Winham, Christopher Forsheim, John Peralta, Andre Nertz, Al Dushar as well. Great to see you guys. You got a channel membership for the next month. Somebody remind me to set that order brake later on. I've completely forgotten before, and I might forget again. Automator says YouTube pipe train. Good morning, Automator. Is that even a thing on YouTube? I still don't, to this day don't really understand hype trains on Twitch. Although I don't really watch Twitch anymore. Haven't done for about 2 years. I'm interested to see how tomorrow's going to go as well. With DCS is a totally different community in itself, so I'm quite interested to see that to see what happens with that. Hey AJ Finani, thanks mate. Thanks for the super chat. I will try and not forget. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the DCS community react tomorrow with our kind of stream. I'm not going to be any good. I might crash a few jets or get stuff really wrong while I'm learning, but that's the point, because you all might be thinking, you know what, I've always wanted to start DCS but I don't know what to expect. So I'm hoping tomorrow, started real basic, it's going to allow me to kind of show you guys what you might be able to expect if you want to get into it. Carlito, nice. Jeez. Another 5 channel memberships gifted. Thanks, mate. You guys are the best. Welcome to Dougal, Hunter Nichols, Sergeant Mooge, Solcrit, Roy Van Can as well. You guys have got a channel membership for the month, courtesy of Carlito. Appreciate it. Nick, it's crazy, isn't it? If someone had told him 10 years ago I'd be sitting watching flight sim streams for 2 to 4 hours, I'd have called you crazy, but here I am. I'm the same, yeah. It's if somebody said to me 5-6 years ago that that we would have a sim like MSFS, which would then led me back into simming and then also led me into streaming, I'd have thought they were winding me up. Badger, appreciate it, mate. My goodness. That makes 23 new channel members now. Badger's just gifted a membership to Emma Nemesis. Welcome aboard. To be in with a chance of getting one of these, folks, you've got to make sure you've subscribed to the channel, obviously, but you've got, in your YouTube settings, you want to make sure that you've got on there the ability to receive...
Just a reminder, Luke. Set that auto brake later on.
God, my goodness, that was delayed. You've got to be able to receive gifted memberships. So you've got to tick that box in your YouTube settings somewhere, apparently. I don't know where it is, but apparently that's the thing. I don't know if it's on by default or not. Somebody in the chat might be able to help explain that. But yeah, if you're one of the 23 selected so far, get over to the Discord server and link your account into Discord from YouTube as a connection, and you'll then see the club lounge appear. Sorry, literally just got an email to say they'd been gifted a membership as well. That's cool. I didn't know it did that. That's pretty epic. Delta Tango is asking, so is this like a hype train? I don't know, maybe. Chronic says he saw a UI pop-up in the chat which told him I could click a button to allow gifts right after he subscribed to the channel. Right after the channel subs. Oh, nice. Sorry, well, welcome. Sorry for distracting you at work. That's fantastic. I feel like I've got to somehow keep this going. As I frantically try and work out how to actually do that myself as well. Here's a little gift from me. Once my bank has allowed me to authorise it. Alright, hold on. Ian, thanks buddy. Gifted another membership as well. Super generous. Appreciate it. Robert, welcome on board. And if that's worked, ta-da! Valley, The Night Rider, Gigantic 1167, Dave Cat 1458, and Kimi Raikkonen. Welcome to you guys. Courtesy of me this time round, you've been given a channel membership for a month to enjoy. That makes us 30 new channel members today. I've got to keep it going. Thanks British Avgeek for supporting the channel. Dirty2, my goodness, what have we started? Appreciate the support, Dirty2, good to see you. Captain Wazza, you've got a channel membership, welcome for the next month. One more to the party, that makes 30. Oh dear. Who's that? Where are we? Aha! Oh, it's a FedEx MD-11. FedEx 8393 going to MCO from Philly. The flight deck's not beeping, it's all of the membership announcements constantly pinging. Is it still runway 4, Joe? It certainly is. Let me just refresh the ATIS. Yeah, ILS runway 4 approach in use. Departures on 13. .060 degrees at 12 knots, 10 statute miles, visibility scatter cloud at 9,000, temperature 7 degrees, dew point -7. Altimeter 3035, which is what we got set. Yeah, I might have set the C chord as the kind of membership trigger noise chronics, which is a bit confusing, to be fair. I should have picked a non-aviation noise, really, shouldn't I? But I didn't envisage having 30 new channel members gifted in the last sort of 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I'm chucking a wheel. Sorry, Zato. '80s in the box. Just have a quick check through this, make sure we've got any discontinuities. Well, I've got La Guardia CTAF 18.7. Badger 18.7. What have we got? So there's Proud, and then Vector's onto final, which is fine. But basically, it's final approach from, oh my goodness, from 4 miles. Well, that's a really short final. Descent forecast page is already done. 3035 needs updating though because of the pressure change. 3035. That's already done anyway. And fix runway 04. 4 miles, 8 miles for a little fix, just to help us visualise the final approach. Ah yeah, when they get multi-threading sorted out for MSFS, Nick, it's going to be fantastic, isn't it? It's going to be really enjoyable. Hopefully it's going to unleash the power of the sim, so it's going to take a lot of strain and pressure off a lot of computers. Chris, yeah, you know what, that's another point, is that all the ATC stuff and all the language that they use on DCS, I haven't got a clue where to start with any of that. The only thing I've picked up is as I start rolling on the carrier, if I'm number 2 in the formation, it'd just be 2 rolling, and that kind of thing. But beyond that, I've got no idea. I know, like when you're going in to engage something, you say you commit, and yeah, that's the other thing as well. How do you know what the difference is between Fox 1, Fox 2, and Fox 3? I think it's Fox 3 radar, Fox 2 infrared, like AMRAMs, and Fox 1 like sidewinders. I've got no idea. And yeah, Angels 50s is like flight level 50, isn't it? I don't know. I've got absolutely no idea. It's a whole new angle. You know what? Actually, I've set the sounds. So I've split the sounds up wrong. I've actually split the sounds in DCS, thinking the headphones are literally my headphones, but they're not. The headphones come under speakers Realtek audio. So I've got. That's probably one setting I'll need to change tomorrow. Ian, yeah. I've got no idea how it's going to go tomorrow. I'm hoping it will look alright. It might seem a bit disjointed tomorrow though, because we're going to be dipping in and out of little training missions and things like that, and just exploring features, learning as we go. Fox 1 is semi-active radar. Fox 2 is a heat seeker, which is a sidewinder, right? So Fox 1 would be AMRAM. Fox 2 would be sidewinder. Fox 3 would be active radar missile, which is an AIM-9X, right? Oh god, I don't know. What would it? Yeah, how do you know? Like, it'd just be. It doesn't. I think they don't even talk to you about that in the tutorials. So when they say, "Oh, yeah, okay, let's fire this AIM-9X at somebody," you'll fire it, but they won't then go Fox 2. So you've got in your head the reinforcement of what Fox number it is. So if you fire an AMRAM or whatever it might be, I'd like it to then go like you launch off and they'd be like Fox 3. So Matthew says fly a Tomcat and have the Rio do the hard work for you. There's one thing that pulled me towards the Apache, to be fair, because you can set it up so the co-pilot gunner just goes and does its thing while you fly. The ectogram call-outs I struggle with. I know there's Pickle and Pig, Flying Panda says. What are they? Pickle and Pig? Grant, good afternoon, welcome. God, there's so much to learn for DCS. For now, about to smack into our descent into La Guardia. Not to be confused with Giardia, which is a bacterial infection, primarily in dogs, but humans can get it too. Pickle is when you're dropping La Bomba. So Pig would be when you're firing missiles then. Oh, glide weapons. Okay. Oh my goodness. Pig is glide weapons launched. Yeah, so that's Mad Dog mode, Mr. Season, right? Where you launch it and then it will zoom across and just lock onto the most communicative target that it can lock onto, which could be a friendly. Oh, just suddenly picked a VOR. Which is sharing one of those frequencies, VOR 1. Just the same frequency as La Guardia. We are miles and miles away from La Guardia though, so. You never fire a Fox 3 into a furball, you'd use a Fox 1 because it destroys itself if your radar target is lost. Interesting. Oh yeah, so that's where you, that's the, trying to remember the name of it now, I was learning it yesterday. Bore sight. That's the bore sight one, isn't it? Fox 1. So you have to tag your target, but actually you have to fly to stay locked onto them, right? That's the bore sight one. So that's a Fox 1. Steffi, I was trying to work out the way myself yesterday, but while I loaded in, turns out I was loading into missions which already had a sequence of waypoints and things, so it made it kind of redundant, really. Like we set MCP. Charts, there we go. What do I want to go down to? We'll set 10 for Corrie. Fox 1 can't go pitbull. See, this is it's just so I don't get it then. It's so confusing. I was doing something with bore sight mode yesterday, but I assume then that was an AMRAM. I feel like I'm going to have to do these tutorials all from start again. Lefty Lab, welcome, says Fox 1 is a semi-active radar homing missile shot like a Sparrow. Ah, okay, I was using Sparrows yesterday. Fox 2 is an infrared homing missile, and Fox 3 is an active radar homing missile like AMRAMs or Phoenix. So I don't think I had any Fox 2s then yesterday, because I had all like I had AIM 9X, AIM 7M, and AIM 9M yesterday. But yeah, the tutorials don't really go into the kind of depth of this is what this particular weapon system is. This is what we call it. When you launch it, you say Fox 1 or Fox 2, and this is the modes that it can operate in. Instead, it's just like, we're going to use Sparrows. Click right on your thing and flick across to select Sparrow. Lock on your target, cage the thing, and then launch. Press fire. And then you shoot it down and go, well done, you've splashed your first target. Press exit to end the tutorial. And I'm like, well, I haven't learned anything. So, yeah, not particularly simple. Osprey 458 somewhere, right, on a different path. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flying along today. Lovely job. Matthew's asking, would it be accurate to say that a Fox 1 requires outside help to hit its target, whereas Fox 2 and 3 can be used as fire and forget weapons that carry their own targeting hardware? Yes, if I launched a Fox 1, I'd use bore sight mode in the jet, which is basically me maintaining the lock on the target to continue to laser designate it, right? Have I understood that correctly, Mr. Season? But Fox 2 and 3, I can lock the target, and when I get the shoot indication, I can launch it and let it do its thing. I hope I've got that right. Top of descent, let's get an order break 2. And also, Matthew, actually, you might be one to ask. ILS 04 in La Guardia, because of its positioning and all the rest of it, is it something that's often flown manually? Or do they activate the autopilot and descend with a glide? Somebody asked earlier, David asked earlier, and I remembered somebody mentioning it yesterday as well.
Guardia traffic of the flight is descending out of level 350 to level 100 approach to arrival and expecting runway 04 Zulu.
So we're only going to call up, it's quite early for a call, probably going to call up at 10,000 feet. At that point, we're just going to monitor Unicom. We might have to speak with various aircraft and traffic around us in order to deal with sequencing. But beyond that, at 15 miles or 10,000 feet, we're just going to press that across to 18.7, activate the Guardia CTAF frequency of 18.7, which replicates that of the tower in lieu of any ATC being online. And from there, we will talk and get ourselves in. Port Fouille, hello to you, welcome. Matthew, nice. Somebody mentioned Southwest almost hitting the tower in La Guardia the other day. The ILS 04 in La Guardia has to be hand flown from the final approach fix to the runway. Just ask Southwest as to why that is. I'm hoping a lot of you will be tuning in tomorrow to help me with DCS. If I feel like I've understood a little bit of it, what we'll do is maybe dive into one or two of these tutorials in the campaigns. Just to really put myself under pressure and see how much I've learned in that kind of short space of time as well. Might try one air-to-air refuel, even though it's seemingly rather difficult. Winds now 090 at 10, altimeter 3037. So pressure's going up all the time. .3003 when we started today's stream, and now the La Guardia altimeter is 3037. So it's risen by quite a few inches of mercury. But runway 4 is still in use. And then autopilot into the final approach fix, and then all hand flying from there. Chris, yeah, I haven't gone to React before. I used to go to the Cosford Air Show a lot when I was at RF Cosford for a couple of years. So every single year we used to go to the Cosford Air Show, mooch around, sit in some of the jets. Mr. Season says, with Fox 3 you also get a timer until the missile goes pitbull. After that you can break the lock and the missile will do its thing. If you break the lock before that though, it might not hit anything. Yes, understanding all of that, it's going to be quite tough. Good afternoon Andy, welcome, hope you're well. Here's a question for you guys in the UK. How much do you reckon a British Airways Assurance Security Manager gets paid. Because it's a job I'd like to move into, but there is no information at all online as to how much they get paid, and I want to know if it's more than what I get paid now to justify me moving across or not. Because I can't afford to take any more of a pay cut. Through 22, 18,000 on flight level 180 for transition in the States, don't forget. Whereas in the UK it might be 5,000 or 6,000 feet instead. So almost changing to the local QNH for La Guardia. So order brake 2, touchdown, brakes will start to get active, and then we will take over to manual brakes. I'll probably get rid of the hood in a little while as well. I just want to kind of use it a little bit to see how it all works. But what's the role? Let me just find it again. Assurance Manager UK and Europe within their safety and security business area. Because some people have said it's as low as sort of 30 odd, 35,000, and I thought, well, as a manager, surely not. I don't know. It just says competitive salary, like everything does these days. How are we doing? The cloud's looking a bit thick. Get people strapped in early.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our descent, we request that you return to your seat and make sure your seat
It's just averages and things. You don't really find, there's no figure online, Grant, that actually tells you. So still to this day, I've been looking all day and I just can't work out how much it is. And the missus said, just apply anyway. See how far you get, and then when you have that conversation about pay, say to them, this is the minimum that I will accept, like 60,000 or whatever. Just that you throw a figure that's well considered for the role, and just see what they say. Yeah, a lot of stuff online as well has said about 45k starting salary from what I'm looking at the moment. Waypoint Skippy in the UK, but managing the UK and Europe airports as well, so there'd be a bit of travel involved, which would be quite cool. Yeah, a lot of responsibility. But nothing compared to what I already do and have been doing for the last almost 11 years. So part of me is kind of tempted by that. I've always found aviation security quite interesting, so I've always wanted to maybe look into getting into that kind of role. AvSec they're called, or yeah, could be like corporate security and things like that. Go to local pressure, boink. Going to lose the VNAV profile a little bit. Corrie's there at 10. There's Jersey, and then it's Renault Proud. Renault Apple, sorry, and then Proud. MPS, welcome mate. How are you? 96 and 03 for fuel, that's pretty good. You'll notice today, obviously we're flying in the States, we're not using pounds, we're using kilograms, because I can't get my head around pounds. So I've gone into the box and I've tweaked it to give me kilograms. And they're because I understand them, so. Clipper, nice. I'll quickly ding the crew, quick, flush all the toilets. Pour all the coffee down the sink. Yeah, to be fair, Matthew, I think all of the aeroplanes in MSFS seem to do it. We were in the Dreamliner yesterday, and that did it as well. The Horizon 787. I think the Phoenix did that a little while ago too. Yeah, Captain Loki's had a lot of treats. He's had a couple of walks today as well, so he's basically, I get him really tired, and then at stream time he just sleeps for 3 hours downstairs, occasionally waking up on the sofa looking out the window to make sure the house is secure, or if somebody walks past, the odd little bark to tell them go away, and then goes back to sleep. I think it's more physical and asset protection type security stuff, but they've got IT security departments as well, so they've actually got cybersecurity data analysis jobs in BA at the moment that are active. Oh, fair enough, Matthew. Yeah, so it's the same with hectopascals. 1 hectopascal is 30 feet. Matthew saying there, for every 0.01 inches of mercury, raise or lower the zone profile by 10 feet. I mean, it was in the box, albeit the forecast changed again, 3035. But I don't know. Maybe it's not programmed in at all. Nabil, welcome. Enjoying first stream, good to hear. Chris, no, more so physical corporate security. So looking at AVSEC is basically looking at the security policies of the airline that you work for, some of the security requirements of the government bodies like the CAA, working with law enforcement, working with the CAA, working with the airports, meeting with your foreign counterparts, doing risk assessments of security processes at other airports around the world. You're looking at the risk assessments and security profiles of the hotels that the crews stay at as well, because there's risks involved there as well. All of that kind of stuff. Doing all the compliance paperwork for the CAA. A really vast role. We've got landing elevation set, yeah, that's as good as. There's a degree in the UK for criminology and some law degrees, but I don't have any of that really. Mohammed, yeah, if you want the A330, go for it. But if you're on PC, mate, if you're on PC, go to Horizons, go to Headwind Simulations and download their free A330-900 because that's amazing. That's a lot better than the Aladdin VFR A330, and it's free. Alrighty, so through 10. Jersey's coming up fast. What have we got here? Crazily enough, there's no speed restrictions of any sort. Get the lights on. Check the signs. Anti-ice on for this.
Also flight level 100 to 2000 feet, switching speed of La Guardia on 118.7 La Guardia.
Bang at 3. De La Guardia traffic. Delta 1235 passing Corrie 10,000, switching to La Guardia CTAF 118.7. Part brakes off. Nolex, welcome. Hope all is well for you as well. Good to see you joining us. Bang at 3. But actually, Proud is after Beng. Which is why it's not in our FMS. .45. La Guardia traffic Delta 1235s through 9000, altimeter 3037, Boeing 737-900, inbound Depd on the Proud 2 RNAV arrival, ILS 04 will report turning final, waypoint Proud, La Guardia traffic.
La Guardia traffic is past point Jersey. We are descending 8,000 feet down to 2,000 feet. So we'll be reporting establishment on clearance after runway 04 in 20 DME La Guardia traffic.
Apple.
La Guardia traffic Delta 1594, heavy for 7200 feet with altimeter 3025, descending.
We'll actually bang at 3, so we're going to want set 25. 230 for speed. Just going a bit more proactive with the control of all of this. We want to be at Apple around 3000-ish. Snap the ILS. And that in feet, 7001. Is it a 3-degree glide slope? It's a 3.14 degree glide slope. Oh well, let me change that. Oh well. We don't need it anyway. There's New York, everybody. I'm actually going to get rid of that because it's really annoying. Right, auto brake 2. He's at 10 miles. Actually, sorry, he's at 20 miles. Going to bring in the deceleration. We'll go to 220. 850
And the traffic Oscar 5 is 18 DME inbound Alice runway 04.
That's off.
Local traffic.
Sim's locked up. Still locked up. Oh, and we're back. My goodness, almost change of underwear time. Nabil, just myself, just practice. Lanzanaria, no, buddy. There's no discount codes for the new PA38. It's brand new from Just Flight. The Tomahawk's now been released, but yeah, it's brand new, so it's going to obviously be full price. There's the heads-up display. Yeah, there's the runway indication.
La Guardia traffic, Osprey 2472, overhead corridor descending through 10,000 feet.
Wrong button.
And expecting the Proud to arrival. We'll report overhead Proud, established for the ILS runway 04. QNH 3037.
Back in. Press the trim button by accident and it's disengaged the autopilot system. So VREF set, we'll go for 139. It's actually a little higher now because we haven't burnt as much fuel. Let's go for 140, flap 40. It's easy to remember. Yeah, Mr. Season. Yeah, hold on. Where's my hook button down here?
Delta 5894 heavy.
It's not on the charts, but there's one of the big bridges.
We've
got ILS 105, 044, nav 1 and 2 both set.
We'll call again report establishing on the localizer.
Passing Jersey. I've just passed Jersey. $4,000. Why that down 600? I'll report past Dag Sato.
Guardia traffic, Delta 490 is passing 10,000. You're down on the Proud 2 arrival for ILS 04. Report established. Guardia traffic.
It's the first time landing on this runway in La Guardia. I always do the visual approach onto 3-1, which is obviously tough in itself, but the runway's longer, so. There's Manhattan. That. JFK is that absolute massive concrete stain over there. What we got here? Let's sit this camera around. There's the city getting rendered in now rather nicely. Look at that. Let's see. Visual of the airport already. Go down to 210. Zero 44. Going to start the replay here. It frees the PMDG 737 for a little while it's recording all of the information.
There
we go.
Okay, 04 via Quebec.
Speed's good for flap 5, auto brakes set. La Guardia traffic data 1235 set. Passing waypoint proud, final runway 4. My throttles. .45.
La Guardia traffic, JetBlue 48, slowing down to minimum clean speed.
Flat 5. Get rid of that because it's in my way. Wait, that's a big old bump. Flap 10. Gear down. Let's keep it going. Flap 15 through 180 knots.
Delta 5894 heavy 5 EME from
Hella 18.
You will call established on the ILS.
Got the runway.
The way you come.
Tell you what, just go into this view here. Look at that. What an approach. Just because it's visual, I'm just going to focus on this.
2894, I'll try and maintain speed as long as I can, so try and give you a bit of room in front.
No problems here, Delta 5894 will try and keep the spacing tweaking this later.
Get down 3 green. Go flap 30. Back to work, Callum from Saturday, mate. Look at that. Yeah, boy. What a view.
La Guardia traffic, Delta 490, speaking 220.
Quick look at the old wing. A very quick look at the wing. Because I've got to keep that nose coming a wee bit down. There we go. Look at that. A little stuttery. Little stuttery, but manageable. La Guardia traffic data 1235, 6 mile final, 04. Full flat. Gear down 3 green, everything else is set. Heading missed approach briefed.
La Guardia traffic, JetBlue 48, slowing down to 180 knots.
There's the expressway for that visual approach, where we break off and chase the freeway for that real tight final turn. It's an awesome approach, that. Really, really fun. Oh, look at that. MK Studios have got on the left-hand side there. You see that? The chimney smoke.
1,000.
That's amazing. Good spot, Andre. Thank you. I knew I forgot something. Spoilers armed.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 5894 heavy, slowing down to 200 knots.
Approaching minimums.
14, 15 knot crosswind a little bit now.
Minimums.
Continue.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta.
Oh wow, look at this.
100.
What a view!
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 1494,
And decel, bumpy runway. Manual brakes.
LaGuardia traffic, Osprey 2472, establish on the localizer, overhead proud, maintaining 200 knots for as long as possible. LaGuardia traffic.
Papa, I think this is.
LaGuardia traffic, JetBlue 48, 23 miles out, slowing down to 17 knots, 170 knots, LaGuardia.
916, are you with us in fixed frequency?
And LaGuardia traffic, Delta 5894, slowing down to 190 knots, continuing spacing near the traffic impact.
What's my frames per second right now? Let's have a little look. 21 frames per second. I knew it was a little bit stuttery. This is with an RTX 4090 with everything installed. LaGuardia traffic Delta 1235's vacated runway 04 at Papa. So there you go. 1.7G looks to be centre line. Americans departed. Traffic off. Let's get rid of the Toby eye tracker.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 490, 15 mile final. Speed 65.
Trophy neck.
Yeah, LaGuardia traffic, Osprey 2472, 7 nautical mile final, reducing to minimum approach speed now. LaGuardia traffic.
Gate 88A.
5894, slowing down to minimum approach speed, which continues spacing the traffic.
No, that's not it.
LaGuardia traffic, American 4542 is now alright. Field proceeding, chase, seat, and neck hold to hold 14
idea. Delta. (88A) with safe dock. No, follow me. That's all the way down the bottom.
And traffic, Delta 489 fully established on the ILS, overpassing crowd. We will call 5 mile final.
Oh, that's pretty neat, isn't it? Look at that.
LaGuardia traffic, JetBlue 48, slowing down to minimum approach speed, and we're 17 miles out.
Some numpty spawned in right at the touchdown zone, by the way, right at the edge of the runway, so don't let that put you off, folks. So if you're on final approach, somebody's spawned in and not declaring anything, so
Please remain in your seat with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft has been parked. The captain turns off the seatbelt sign.
Yeah, I've got La Guardia installed, I've got InnyBuild's JFK, I've got Dwozeki Designs Newark, and I've got Dreamflight Teterboro and New York Cityscape all installed together, which is pretty full on for the RTX 4090 with DirectX 11 and running everything in maximum settings at 4K. So really full on for the graphics card, to be
American
fair.
910 is inbound for the ILF 04 on the Proud 2 Hertz transition.
La Guardia traffic, Delta 1594, final.
Look at that, trying to load everything in.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 2107 is inbound, runway 4 on the Proud 2 Hertz arrival.
It's going to slow down to a little creep there.
LaGuardia traffic, Osprey 27 Alpha is inbound for the ILF.
Bam, touchdown, back, beautiful touchdown that. Tiny bit short, but actually really nice. Look at that for a view.
Good comms, guys.
I think that's somebody that's flying in who's not actually flying as part of us, but they've managed to sequence themselves on CTAF really nicely. So this is what CTAF's all about. ADA, so all the way to the end, and then we go right on Zulu, on to 17, into ADA.
Short final 04, continuing approach.
So a little bit more, got to load everything in again. Bing, 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 bing. Hopefully we don't end up overrunning. Just going to punch the old brakes to stop my aeroplane.
Recorded traffic Osprey 29 for 18 miles on our left.
Yeah, it's not doing badly at all, is it? Look at all that it's rendered in. Look at the approach path. There's 3 aeroplanes there. And this looks incredibly good. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Castellanista, welcome. That view's awesome. This is with frame gen off, JJ Stevens. DirectX 11.
Guardia traffic, Osprey 2472.
So this is Zato. He's actually in a 747, but we don't have that as Delta thing in model matching, so it's provided a 767 instead. The VATSIM menu, the wheel thing that we just saw was it's the Parallel 42's Flow Pro. Look at that, beautifully done. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, living on a player? Literally one of the most powerful PCs that you can currently buy, costing me £3,500. And with everything loaded in,
you're trying to get into this ramp.
with everything else loaded in, it's struggling. But this is pretty unique.
And Delta 5894 vacated on the airport.
CM Films is because it doesn't allow me to use DirectX 12 with this weird thing that we have with the sim where it loads in window mode.
Traffic, JetBlue 48,
Beautifully
10
done,
miles
Elder.
out, 04.
Epic.
Got a traffic Osprey 29 Alpha with 13 miles out, minimum speed 04.
Okay, so we've got a little window of opportunity here.
Traffic, JetBlue 531, 19 miles out.
Brakes and power.
Speed 190.
Yeah, you can alt enter for full screen, which is what obviously I've done, but
42 is
unfortunately,
joining behind the,
every time I load the sim, it puts me back into DirectX 11, and what it then does, to change it back to DirectX 12, it requires you to restart the sim, but when I restart the sim, it doesn't allow me to go, it resets it back to DirectX 11. It's basically, which is really annoying, but it is what it is.
Delta 2107 to American 4542.
Go ahead.
What's your current speed, sir?
Current speed 180, slowing down 170, joining behind JetBlue 531.
Roger that.
Just a config file, set speed only, I'm not sure.
190.
Thank you very much.
So a lot of really good coordination going on here on VATSIM at the moment. Really impressive, folks.
Traffic, Delta 490, crossing 31.
So down to the end, right at Zulu. Oh yes, look at that.
LaGuardia traffic, Osprey just now, we're 8 miles, ILS 04.
Trying to get parked before the next landing. Very bumpy this.
And Delta 2107 to American 4542, no pass.
Taxi lights off. '86. Oops. No, this is... '88A? The heck? That doesn't match the charts. That one there should be 89. Right. Got one on final. Oh, I just missed a touchdown. Damn it. Sorry to the JetBlue. Yeah, so the one I'm on is actually 88B, but it says 86 on the charts. So I've gone with the charts, I've taken a beeline down to 88A. Where I'm at now is 88B, but it says 86. So they've got that wrong. They've got the whole layout of this cul-de-sac incorrect, potentially.
48 crossing 13 Alpha to the bay. La Guardia.
Interesting. JJ says to change 0 to a 1 on the file preferred D3, D12, 1 in the user config. Nice one. I shall do that. Thank you. I'll try that. Somebody mentioned that a little while ago and I just forgot to do it. Yeah, GSX doesn't match up either, Ian says. Chuff the neck. Yeah, some flickering textures there as well on that sign. This is busy, busy, busy. What have we got? My goodness. It's just one after the next. So we've got JetBlue 48's just landed. This is Paul now, Osprey 42, followed by another JetBlue 2810, followed by JetBlue 531, followed by American 4542. Wowzers. Great show of force today, folks, from everyone flying Osprey as well.
Got a traffic JetBlue 48 taxiing gate
awesome
53
touchdown.
via Alpha.
Beautifully done.
LaGuardia traffic Delta 2963 runway 13.
Next one's almost in. Let's quickly
12 via Mike.
Get rolling.
Echo. We'll be holding short runway 4 at Echo.
Nice looking interior there.
Traffic Osprey number vacated runway 04 on.
1. Stop.
JetBlue 531 on 3 miles short, final.
Sweet. Engines.
LaGuardia traffic, American 4542, 10 miles final, runway 04.
Quick check of New Sky. We'll do that here though so we can watch some touchdowns. We'll see what score we've got. Oh, 9.98 off centre takeoff, but great touchdown. All hand flown as well actually. Which reminds me I could stop the recording. Tasty profit of almost 10 grand. Happy days. There might be a La Guardia version 2 very soon, Doc says. Hopefully it's not going to cost $10. Actually, 04's quite a nice approach, isn't it? All the way down the side of Manhattan there. We'll watch this touchdown. We'll jump back into the aircraft. Well, do we want to see a replay of my landing? Probably don't really need to do it. We're going to see so many touchdowns. Probably don't need to see my touchdown. And we can then go and explore the scenery. Oh, it's a proper crosswind now. Look at that, it's crabbing towards the tower. Yeah, nice bit of crabbing. Yeah, the taxiways seem very bumpy, don't they, Carlito? I don't know if it's like that in real life, though. Perhaps Matthew, if you're still in the chat, mate, being a real-life US pilot, you might be able to advise at La Guardia whether it's that bumpy down in that cul-de-sac. Same with Centurio, actually, because you mentioned you flew in or out of La Guardia with Delta a little while ago. You had me at blue.
La Guardia traffic, American 4542 is about 4.5 miles, final runway 04.
You'll just come up a little bit. How's that for a backdrop? Amazing, isn't it? And this is stunning. Just the old terminal.
JetBlue 531, clear of runway 4, vacated.
Don't know what that is. Cargo? I'll have a look at the charts in a moment. What I want to do is go and stand in what I would imagine is Spotter's Corner. And watch this touchdown from here. Looks like an American A321. Hangar Admin Building. The FBO. Nice. Information Alpha, welcome, mate. Ian says this airport is a mess. What are you experiencing? Is this the MK Studios La Guardia? What have you found? Oh, what a tune to arrive into. Touchdown. Oh, hello. It's really struggling with rendering everything in, isn't it? It's the signs just popped out of nowhere. That was a great touchdown.
Delta 2963 is crossing runway 4 at Echo, continuing taxi runway 13 via Echo.
That
double D to Papa.
Was the last pilot in. We've got 2 more on final, but they're flying elsewhere, I think. But let's see what we've got here. So they've done the expressway, which is actually really cool on final approach, zipping in over all of this. Albeit they've done the signs and the buildings on the right here, but not this little bit. The actual textures of the tarmac.
4542 runway 04 vacated.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 2963 runway 4 vacated.
Quick Zephyr time, night time. Very dark. JJ, yeah, you've got to hand fly the ILS. It says on the charts you have to fly the ILS 04 with the autopilot uncoupled.
LaGuardia traffic.
Which I think is the posh way of just saying you're not allowed to fly it as an automatic ILS approach. You can fly the ILS, but you can't do it with the autopilot in. Tower. Pop in. Say hello to the controllers. What a view. We've made LaGuardia wonderfully busy. It's a stunning airport though, positioning wise. It's a shame there's not the option to do that in JFK in real life. Look at the chimneys over there. It's amazing. Actual chimney smoke. And then obviously that as a backdrop as well. Look at that. There's one on final. We'll watch this touchdown, I reckon, from here.
LaGuardia traffic on the 2107, final, runway 4, 5 mile final. LaGuardia traffic.
Yeah, pretty cool. They've got the stadium in over there as well, which is obviously part of the expressway visual. And more chimney smoke up over that way. A lot of chimney smoke over at the top of the terminal buildings as well. Look at that. Wow.
LaGuardia traffic, American 910, 10 miles.
You don't by any chance have...
LaGuardia traffic.
Just going to set the view up a little bit better here, folks.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 2963 is going to line up and wait runway 13.
Find Ian on Volanta.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 2107, short final, runway 4, LaGuardia traffic.
Osprey 2472, let's have a... I can't see your screenshots, mate. Now you're on the ground. Might have to look in Discord or something. Where's the plane? There it is.
How far does the second one there on final for LaGuardia?
You haven't got the fuel there.
You could probably go.
LaGuardia scenery installed as well, have you, Ian? That's my only thought.
I think I got a
Look
guy.
at those blocky textures.
Short final, and I'll go after him.
Yeah, Delta 2107, short final, runway 4, LaGuardia traffic.
Sounds good. I'll go ahead and dirty up a little bit, give you some more time.
I got you both in sight for the traffic in position, holding runway 13.
Over the freeway or expressway or whatever it's called. Tower view. Look at that. Touchdown. Boink. Great skyline. Do we have an interior?
And LaGuardia traffic, Delta 2107, vacated runway 4.
In the airside areas though we do, by the looks of it. That's good enough. Don't always need landside areas. Plus they've got to bear in mind that a lot of us are going to have things like, you know, Unibuild's JFK installed, and maybe that New York City pack I've got installed. So they've got to factor that in potentially. And go, well, you know what? Reasonably, we're going to destroy most people's performance if we put in very detailed terminal areas and landside areas and things. Actually, this looks pretty good from what I can see so far. The road areas here all look a bit crazy, actually quite confusing. I suppose they've had to go from satellite imagery, which is this, and then blend it somehow into the scenery itself. Who knows LaGuardia in real life? What do you think? Does it look pretty good? Does it look realistic? arrivals area down there as well for Delta. Looks like this is the Delta terminal with its own kind of little logo. Oh wow, moving adverts. Means we've got to watch it from an angle. To see what it becomes next. So Shannon now Dublin. What's next? Philadelphia. So you know what they're probably doing? Listing their own airport scenery, so I'm not sure. Security. Present through to search in the Delta terminal. And yeah, I can read pretty much all of those quite nicely actually. Lots of options there for routes. So we're going to see if the Sky Club's rendered in. Ah, boo. Well, actually, it is.
LaGuardia traffic, Delta 2963 is climbing out of 4000, departing to the west-west call.
You look down on the peasants below, and then we've got that beautiful view. Sat on my seat with a gin and tonic. My goodness, sorry about the drone work, folks, that's terrible. Let's go and find a seat. There we go. Sit here with my gin and tonic, overlooking the apron. Really nice. But to be fair, JJ, I'm running Luke Air Tool, I'm running Volanta, I'm obviously outputting the stream as well. I've got Spotify on, Flight Control Replay, Navigraph, vPilot, and New Sky, and MSFS. Quite demanding. It's quite a lot of stuff. There's somebody actually on my driveway. 2 seconds.
LaGuardia traffic, American 910s vacated runway 04 Romeo, taxiing to the Alpha gates via Romeo crossing 13.
All good.
Then Alpha to the ramp. LaGuardia traffic.
Oh, that's quite cool. The little animations here. Some New York cabs. Steam rising out the chimneys there. Nice to see. They've got the whole walkway. Airside area is all complete. We actually walked the whole length of the terminal. Look at that for a view as well. Let's see how far we get. Yeah, so realistically, with frame gen on, I'll be getting about 40-ish frames. Sunday supper, and then the main kind of gate rooms. Very snazzy. I love the glass work actually. The glass and textures around here are really good. Look at that. Just going to explore where we've parked. They've definitely got this a bit messed up, because that's not 88B and 88A. Where I've parked should be 88B, and then it should be 88A, followed by 86, not the other way around. That one that's coned off is 82, that one's 84, followed by 86, 88A, 88B, 89 when you look at the charts. So they've got this a bit messed up. So if we just have a quick look at that for a second, bear in mind what we've just mentioned. That's what it should be according to the Jepson charts. And then it goes 92, 93 all the way up to 98. 92, 93, 94. 95678. That's all done correctly. Bois, welcome. Can we have a look at the stadium? That masking there of the water is quite nice. And even the kind of docks area there, look, the little boatyard. It's hard to know what they've actually included. In this, realistically. Because of how it all is. But yeah, Citi Field Stadium looks really good in comparison to what it was before. They've actually rendered this in and put it part of the scenery. This looks fantastic. There's La Guardia in the backdrop. Big key feature of that expressway kind of visual, the parkway visual, whatever it's called nowadays. And then we've got various other bits of scenery included from the US World Update as well. Like that big orb thing there. Should be turning really tight on final here, past all of this. On that visual approach. And there'll be rolling wings level. And on the approach path, you're about here now. Rolling wings level, look how close you are on that visual approach. They've done a little bit of work there with the docks. JJ's saying, look at the VOR on runway 22 out on the pier. Oh, there it is. Just gonna zoom out. How's that for a view? Pretty epic. I mean, New York now is probably the most detailed city/area in the world in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think pretty much every key airport or slightly big enough airport is part of a Payware scenery package. It's pretty epic. Adam, welcome mate. Very good, thank you. There's the VOR. And that pier extension with the taxiway looking really good as well. Look at that. Really neat. There's the pier extension. That's a bit horrid looking though. Surely it's not like that in real life. Jeez. Slight issues with the terrain across the airport. There's the taxiway with the ILS hold point. Set all the way back there to protect the ILS. Long old taxi though to line up. They've even kind of just increased the photogrammetry around the rocky areas here too. Look, they've added in little details around here. So we've got chimneys with the smoke. We've got that. Looks like a radar of sorts. And then they've done the bridges. Yeah, I think the closer we look, we're finding some glaring problems with this. There are some details which are stunning. Really, really nice. Like these chimneys and the approach lighting and the structures. Some of the detail inside the terminal buildings look really good. The runway seemed quite bumpy. I don't know if those of you who flew in and landed thought the same today. There are some tiling issues and very bumpy textures. Very bumpy apron textures. That looks rushed, like it's not actually got through quality testing. You know, an airport is predominantly flat. It's imagine accidentally hitting I mean, you wouldn't hit that, but look how rough that is. Surely it's not like that in real life. The area is raised, but it's not floating. So there are areas there that they have just not done. They've not actually looked at. Quite messy looking, actually, isn't it? This little sort of section as you look at it. Doc says, see it at night. I did wind the time back briefly. Hold on, mate. There we go. The red lights and stuff for the edging is really quite nice. We've got any approach lights? Just check 1-3. Does runway 31 have lead-in lights for night time? Or any of the runways have lead-in lights for night time? This one certainly doesn't. Look at that. Whoa, absolute fire. The apron area looks fantastic at night time, to be fair. Look at that. Taxiways are dark enough, a lot of blue lights. We've got any, it looks like we've got runway guard lights there as well, flashing away. Protecting the runways. And that little sign, something like welcome to La Guardia, I think, doesn't it? From memory. Welcome to New York, there you go. Very snazzy. Yeah, apron areas look fantastic. But there are some issues with LODs, all that. 7 out of 10 says Carlito. To be honest, I think that's probably about fair. Just because of the bumpiness of the terrain, letting it down a little bit. Kind of the rough, jaggedy edges let it down somewhat. But the rest of it is stunning. Yeah, if they can fix a lot of the terrain issues that we've noticed. Look at this. Then actually the rest of it would be spectacular. Let's keep going up. Ground transportation and baggage reclaim. Oh, it's the bridge. Is that actually... Oh yeah, look. That look, I'll tell you what, that looks really tight. Even for a 737. Surely... Just gonna check the charts. Hold on, folks. Surely that's not that tight in real life. Tango 6-2.
Guardia traffic Delta 29.
And then it's kind of an okay-ish curve. You can see there the bridge is there. The signage of the bridge shows it's slightly offset, but actually the bridge itself... Is it that tight? That looks like a 737 wing won't actually fit all that well in that section. Because if I was taxiing on this bit, I would actually, where that line is for the white dashed box, I would leave my centre line there if I was taxiing down here. There's no, because I find it very tight otherwise. Not convinced that's in the right place. I might be wrong. I don't live here. Certainly don't know La Guardia that well. But that looks to me like it's a little bit too far to the right, a little bit too close to the wall. What do you guys reckon? Looks close, right? Just notice the carpets. Still got gates. I mean, there were signs for baggage reclaim, but we've kind of been spat out into departures, so I'm a little bit lost. Okay, here's some more baggage reclaim signs, I think. Ground transportation. Vega says it looks the same on Google Maps. Okie dokie. Thanks for checking. I don't know. We have to go downstairs, I think. Well, there isn't a downstairs, to be fair. Drop your neck. There is a downstairs. Little downstairs mezzanine there. A couple of gates. Not sure what their gates are for though. It's a bit weird. Like are they help desks? Because they almost look like they're meant to be gates without any actual gates. The La Guardia is a very confusing layout anyway, isn't it? We've all seen the... Is it Phil there that have made La Guardia? That's bloody awful. This is actually quite nice. They've done a good job of it. I think that's kind of it, isn't it? That's everything. Oh, is that the new JetBlue livery? Oh no, it's Breeze. Close. Not really. Well, there we go. Tampa to La Guardia, New York, in the PMDG 737-900ER. Ian thinks he's found the problem. He's got a photograph on Discord, or a screenshot of Discord of his issues, but he thinks he's found there's an airport light file that's added itself back in that might have caused his scenery issues. So hopefully, touch wood, that has solved it. I hope you've enjoyed today. It's great flying the 737-900 because it feels a lot faster, a bit more of a challenge, and adds to it being a bit of a tough approach because of it. So yeah, massive thank you to everybody who had that random hype train of memberships now. A warm welcome to the 30 new channel members that have been gifted a membership for the next month. Appreciate all of that kind of generosity from all of you guys taking part in that. Appreciate that. And join us tomorrow for the first ever DCS 2.9 stream here on the channel. Really looking forward to that. No idea what to expect. I'm going to be pretty rubbish. I'll give you guys the heads up now. This is a brand new sim that I have never ever taken part in or kind of really immersed myself into, so I'm very much at the early stage of my DCS career, and with that comes all the learning alongside it too. But I'm going to leave you with beautiful scenes of downtown Manhattan and the rest of New York and La Guardia in the foreground, and hopefully I'm going to see you all tomorrow for some high octane all action madness over on DCS here on the channel. But in the meantime, as always, massive thank you to everyone who's tuned in and watched wherever you are in the world. All of our new subscribers, great to have you with us. And the links to both sceneries, if you want to purchase either, are in the description down below, and you'll get them over on Contra. In the meantime, as always, enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you for some DCS F-18 madness tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Traffic Delta 2288, 10 miles final, runway 4.